Welcome to Module 4, Website Hosting. So I'll do a quick recap of the previous videos. Now, we went through an overview video, just laying out the training. The next video went through finding an offer and how to find a high converting offer. And for the purpose of the rest of the training, I've chosen to use the metabolic cooking product that we found on ClickBank as the product that I'll set up a campaign, a live campaign through this training. And the previous video in Module 3 was going through finding or determining what to use for your free giveaway. So whether that was producing content, producing a free giveaway yourself, or going with PLR content. Now, if you remember from the video prior to that with the metabolic cooking product, their affiliate tools actually had some rebrandable giveaway reports. So for the following videos, I'm going to set up a campaign and show you exactly what to do to set up a campaign. And I'm going to use that metabolic cooking product with the rebrandable PDFs that they provided as the giveaways. So the goals of Module 4 website hosting is what we want to do is we want to find a really catchy and a really awesome domain name. So we're going to actually set up our own domain, and we're going to redirect that domain directly to the offer. So I'll show you a little bit about that in the next slide. What we'll do here is I'll just go through the goals. We want to find that great domain name, that catchy domain name. We're going to register the domain. I'll show you then a little bit about setting up quite inexpensive website hosting, and particularly a strategy that I use or a technique that I use for using add-on domains so that you're able to host multiple campaigns all in the one account for the one price. And I'll show you then how to set up the domain redirection. So if I go through to the next slide. Okay, so the domain redirection, I'll just explain a little bit about this. These dot points here show you the overview of the site that we'll be creating. So we'll register our own domain name that will direct immediately to that affiliate link to that product. So we won't use that domain name in the advertising campaign itself, but if anybody sees the ad, writes down the domain or remembers the domain, they can come back later, type that in, and we'll actually go immediately through to the offer so that we can try and get as many conversions as possible and make some profit with this campaign. What we'll be doing then is setting up a number of squeeze pages. So the reason I'm saying a number of squeeze pages here is that you can always start with the one, but if you're doing testing and any sort of split testing to optimize your campaign and optimize conversions, it's a good idea to be able to set up multiple squeeze pages so that you can track which variant of your campaign is working best, so that you can choose which one and settle on the ones that are working best. And I'll go into a lot of detail in one of the future modules about exactly how to do that. So as you can see here, your domain would go straight through to the product. You would then have a number of squeeze pages that would live off that domain, and that's also where we would host our free report. So the report would be there. So after entering the details on the squeeze page, the report would be emailed to them. They'd fill out their email address. The follow-up series would kick in. They would get an email saying download the report, and that's where we would be hosting the report. So the report would live on that web hosting account, and they would download it from there, and it would contain the affiliate links as we talked about earlier. I'll now take you through the process of registering a domain name. Now, this is one of the techniques that I use for finding a really great domain name. It's a website called impossibility.org. So I'll just type that in, possibility.org. So this is a domain name generator site that will help you generate a domain name including certain words that you want to include, and it will automatically check before it gives you results, it automatically checks that those domains are available. So I've found some amazingly good domain names using this tool. Now, I will jump back across to the tab for the offer, just so that we can get some keywords. So the product's metabolic cooking. So I'll just take some notes. So we've got metabolic cooking. Quick and easy recipes. So there's the recipes keyword. Fat burning. Fat loss. So if we do come up with a domain name, it should be based around those words. So I'll jump back across to Impossibility, and let's put some of these in. I might put in recipes. So what you choose here is whether you want to add 4-letter, 5-letter, 6-letter adjectives, verbs or nouns. I generally go with anything and then choose that at the beginning. You can choose at the beginning or the end, and you hit search and it starts generating domain names for you. Now it is a lot of random words, so a lot of these domains don't make any sense, but looking through them, and if you repeat the search, I've found some, like I said, some really good domain names in here that I couldn't believe were available. So it's definitely a tool worth using, and let's have a look and see if any of these make any sense. Chief recipes would have been good if it was chef recipes. Catch without export horn amounts. So look, none of these are really standing out. Feeling aged, no, you wouldn't want that. Tusk recipes, I don't think so. Finger recipes. Fingers recipes, no. Planning vow. Barn, Pope, rake. Methods. No, look, I might put in fat loss. Not try that. Wet, several, visitor, blue. So you can see the list here of the domain names it's generated. It says that they're available and gives you links through to actually register those domains. Dish, fat loss, no. Product, heat, blue, text, square. No, none of these are standing out. No. So you just hit and there's a couple of buttons here at the bottom, get more and another search. So generally I just hit get more, have a bit of a browse. You can also use this to come up with good ideas. If you see something and you think, oh, that's close, you can jump off to a domain name register site such as Namecheap is the one that I use, and start searching for variants of that name. Oh wow, baby fat loss. That's a sub niche in itself. That's actually a really good domain name. Unfortunately, it's not quite what we're looking for here, but that if you were selling a product or focusing on losing baby fat, I know that's a hot sort of niche as well. That would be a great domain name to get. So anyway, so that's how you use Impossibility. I'll have a bit of a look off camera and see what else I can find. So I did a little bit more of a search using burn fat as the words with anything at the end. One of the ones that did stand out was burn fat techniques, but then I thought maybe burn fat recipes. So it didn't come up in that list, but I'll head over to Namecheap. So I've got Namecheap open. Again, we'll be providing links. All of these sites that I'm going to will be in the resources that accompany the videos. So I'll just search here for burn fat recipes. And just see if that's available. And it is available. So I think that's the one that I'll use. Actually, I'll step you through what I did. I went to Namecheap. You can go to domains. So I'll go back to that first screen. So you're able to enter a domain name here to register it. You can also go to domains registration. So I'll go back to what I did. So it's burn fat. Look, one of the other things I like to keep in mind with these domains as well is that after the campaign, after you've used it for a period of time, if it's a very profitable campaign and you're able to extend that for a long time, that's fantastic. It may come to a point where you no longer want to promote the product, or you're moving on to something else that works better, or that you're promoting something else that's converting better. So one of the things I like to do with these domains is actually keep them in mind to either create a website from them later on or flip them later on. So something like Burn Fat Recipes would make a great site that you could create a blog site, you could put some recipes up there and either run that site yourself or actually flip it and sell it and make some money off the domain as well. So I think Burn Fat Recipes is a fantastic domain, one for this product, but also it's got a bit of future potential there as well, and that's worth keeping in mind. So I'll register this domain. So to do that, so this is on Namecheap. I just follow that, add it to my cart. Now, one of the other tricks here that you need to do is I'll pop open another tab, and I'll just search for Namecheap coupon, because you can often get quite a percentage off the price by entering a coupon code. So this is a page here. It's actually a Namecheap page. So the current coupon code is Under the Sun. So I'll take a copy of that. Now, I believe that changes every month, so once you watch this video, you'll need to see at the time that you're registering your domain, do the search and see what the coupon code is at that point in time. So I'll close that. I jump back across here, view my cart. You see here, it's got the free Whois guard, so that's also good. I'll put in that promo code. Now, I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I'm an Australian, so I'm in Australia, so everything here is coming up in Australian dollars, and it'll do that also when I run the pay-per-click campaign. That'll also be in Australian dollars. I think Australian dollar at the moment buys about 78 US cents, so for every $1 Australian dollar, it's 78 US cents. Okay, so I've done that. I'll confirm the order. So it's as easy as that to register the domain name, confirm the order, and pay. You would need to create an account with Namecheap if you don't already have one. I've already got one. So look, I'll continue and buy this domain, and I'll continue the video after that. So I've just registered that domain name. Now I'll jump over to HostGator. Now HostGator is the web hosting site that I've been using to host my websites for these campaigns. Look, I have heard some mixed responses or reviews about HostGator, but look, I haven't had any issues with them, and the pricing is really good. So it's really cheap hosting. So look, I'd recommend that at least starting out, that you could start with a HostGator account, because it's a fairly inexpensive account. If I jump across to the web hosting, the plan that I use is the baby plan, and the reason I use the baby plan is I'll just compare the prices at the plans. If you scroll down, it has a feature here of add-on or parked domains. So, and there's unlimited with this. So what that means is that you're able to add multiple domain names to the single hosting without paying any extra for that hosting. So I use this to add each of my campaigns. So each domain that I register, when I run a campaign, I actually add it as an add-on domain to my primary hosting with HostGator. So that's a good way to do it. It means you only need to purchase the single hosting account, and then you can add all the domains as add-on domains. Now, one thing I do need to mention, to have add-on domain hosting and to get that happening, you actually do need to have a primary domain that's hosted on that account. So you can't just have the add-on domains as the primary. What you're doing is an add-on to the primary domain. So what I do is I actually use the domain for my business. My actual business domain name is the primary domain name, and all the add-ons are the campaigns. So if you don't have a business domain yet, or you don't have a business website, you should look at setting something up using that as the primary domain on your account, and then adding those add-on domains for your individual campaigns. So that was the baby plan. Now I'll jump across. I'll show you once you've created your account, you can go in about halfway down in the control panel. You'll see the add-on domains link. So I've jumped into the HostGator add-on domains for adding new add-on domains. So you can see here, you just enter your domain name, an FTP username. It'll generate the document root, and you can put in a password. So the domain we just registered was burnfatrecipes.com. Burnfatrecipes is fine for the username, and I generally take out the extension on the document folder. And then I recommend here that you generate a password and just generate something until you find something that you you want to use. Obviously, I'm not going to use the one that I'm showing on camera, so I'll set that off camera. Once you've done this process, you just add the domain. Now I've jumped back to Namecheap and gone into the domain for burnfatrecipes.com. So you can see here on the side there's a link, transfer DNS to web host. So you want to follow that link for the domain, and then you want to put in the DNS servers for your hosting. So back in, if you're using HostGator, it's written on the left-hand side of the control panel, right down the bottom. There's two hosting domain DNS servers. So what I'll do, I'll actually jump across, I'll show you where that is. So I've scrolled all the way to the bottom on the HostGator control panel, and you can see here's the two name servers. So you take those name server values and copy those, jump back across to Namecheap, and you paste them into here. So that was 1, I believe the other one was 2. Let's do a quick check. Yep, 81, 31, 81, 32. So obviously yours are going to be different to mine. So that's the way that you do it. When you save those changes, it will redirect that burnfatrecipes.com from Namecheap, and it will send it into your HostGator account as an add-on domain. Hopefully that wasn't too difficult to follow. Just to recap, I've registered the domain name on Namecheap. I've got a hosting account on HostGator. On HostGator, I've added an add-on domain for that domain that I've just registered. And you jump back into, once you've done that, which you set up the username and the password and add the domain, you jump back to Namecheap and point or transfer that to the web host by putting in the name servers for your hosting. So now that we've done that, the site, it may take up to 24 hours for that to kick in and for the site to become active. But now that we've done that, the site itself is not doing anything. There'll be no page there, nothing will be happening. So the next step is to actually add that domain redirection so that the domain, if you recall, I'll jump to the next slide. We want to point the domain to that affiliate link. So I have a file here, a redirection index.html file that I'll share with you, and again that'll be in the resources. I'll just jump across to that file and I'll show you what to do. So I've just jumped into a text editor opening that index.html hosting file. So it's a pretty simple file. There's a meta redirect to tell it to do a HTML refresh and going off to your URL, which you need to put in here. So this would be your affiliate link, your primary affiliate link, and in this case it'll be for the metabolic cooking product. There's also a JavaScript redirect here, so you would also put the exact same link in here. Now that's going to work just about all of the time, but just in case it doesn't for some reason, there's a page redirection and some HTML that says if you're not automatically redirected, please follow the link, and you put your link in here as well. So that link will be, if you head back across to ClickBank or to the product that you're promoting, copy that link and put that affiliate link into this file. And then using the username and password that you set up for your hosting, for the add-on account hosting, you can actually FTP into that account and copy up this index.html file. If you're not sure, you should be able to search YouTube for how to FTP files. There's a lot of great tutorials on there. And if all goes well, you should be able to go across to Google, put in your URL. So mine was burnfatrecipes.com, and that should redirect directly to the offer. And it has. Fantastic. So that site's been set up correctly. And just remember that could take 24 to 48 hours for that to become active. So this concludes Module 4, and I'll see you in the next module.